2 days last week. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the dagger?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Without question, the number one story for NFL Wildcard Weekend is a first-round matchup between the Rams and Detroit Lions. The Rams are at Detroit next Sunday at 5 p.m. Detroit is where Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford played 12 of his 15 NFL seasons. Stafford came to the Rams in a trade 3 years ago that sent former Rams quarterback Jared Goff to Detroit. Both will be starting on Sunday against their former team. The Lakers snapped their 4-game losing streak Sunday night with a 3-point win over the Clippers. LeBron had 25 points and 7 assists. Shout out to the UCLA women's basketball team. The Bruins are 14-0 after beating Oregon State Sunday. The Bruins are ranked number 2 in the country. They joined Baylor and South Carolina as the only Division I undefeated women's teams in the country. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
I have a dream.
On Friday, January 12th, as we head into Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. annual holiday weekend, KBLA Talk 1580 will announce a historic climate justice campaign aimed at California communities of color. KBLA Talk 1580 is joined in this historic effort by both public and private partners including LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, Cal and Dow, the Sierra Club, and many other partners. There's a clear connection between Dr. King's moral conscience on the notion of reverence for all human life and the future of our world house. This year, on the MLK holiday weekend, KBLA assigns itself the task of elevating the climate conversation by amplifying the voices of those who are most impacted by the climate catastrophes we are witnessing in real time. Stay tuned for more details. At KBLA Talk 1580, Climate is King.
With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
21, oh, life has just begun. Got a temper like a gun, pointing it at everyone. That's his game, and it helps him to get through the day. But a voice inside him says, how much longer can I play? He's got infinite possibilities, I can see them now. It's the unbroken chains of his past by which he's bound. He's got infinite possibilities, I can feel them now. If you shoot it well, then nothing can tear him down. Peace of mind, not easy for him to find, and he's walking a thinner line.
It's time to set our intentions, set our self-care, and find our focus. This is Mindful Mondays with Saharah Ali on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. So blessed to have, I love that song by Mel LaRue. I can just like drift off into that. But I'm so pleased to have my friend and colleague, Saharah Ali. She is an amazing yoga teacher, a sound bath expert and sound healer. She is a life coach and so much more, including astrologer. Saharah Ali, good morning. It's time to get our minds right on this Monday.
Yes. Good morning, Dominique and the KBLA family. Welcome to Mindful Monday and Happy New Year. You know, Mindful Monday is where we get our minds right for the week by setting positive intentions to honor our mind and body through meditation, prayer, and affirmation. As we step unapologetically into our week, being on purpose with our faith, truth, wisdom, and power. Our call to action this week is to be on purpose, honoring our faith, stepping boldly into 2024 New Year, open to receive our highest good, turning our pain into power. This is a powerful year. It's supported by the celestial influence of a new moon in Cancer on Wednesday at 3:57 a.m. The moon is the ruler of our emotions and intuition. A new moon is when the sun and moon are together in the same astrology sign. New moon set the foundation for new beginnings, and this new beginning is aiding the reset of our cosmic energy for 2024. A New Year's resolution, is when we set these new beginnings and all these promises. But 2024 is an 8-year in numerology, and numerology is the language of the universe representing divine universal laws of algorithms and mathematics. 2024 8-year provides the means to change the status quo. It's altering the direction and quality of all of our lives. It represents balance between the spiritual and the material world, asking us to be of substance and not trappings. And substance is what's real, what's true, and not trappings, the illusions that bind us to deprivation and all things that doesn't support our wholeness. We all know a new year symbolizes the possibility of new beginnings. However, for new beginnings to unfold, the mind must adopt an attitude and state of consciousness open to improvement, both inwardly and outwardly. 2024 8-year call to action is to take mind over matter, connecting to the feminine energy of manifestation, trusting the law of karma. As we give, so shall we receive. Trusting the law of karma, knowing that as we give, we shall receive. Releasing illusions, engaging in substance, and accepting spirit over matter, integrating our intuition, standing in unwavering faith. So use this week, new moon's energy, to focus our thoughts and energy on the substance of wholeness, awakening the power of manifestation that we all are entitled to. So going forward with our Mindful Monday meditation, let's willingly, unapologetically reframe where you're standing, centering and grounding yourself in this moment. So take a breath. Exhale. Exhale, release, be here now, letting go. Inhale, pause, and check in with yourself. Check in with your intentions and your power. Exhale, opening your heart and mind to transformation. Inhale, be one with your breath and the power of clarity, and just relax. Relax and exhale. Now inhale, visualizing a beautiful golden light hovering over the top of your head, like a spotlight, like you're underneath this beautiful golden spotlight. Now exhale and see this golden light traveling down, covering your entire body from your head all the way down to the ground, to the earth. You're in this beautiful spotlight, anchoring yourself to the earth, and breathe. Just breathe. In this light, call on your angels to grace you with forgiveness. Call on your angels to assist you to stand in faith with trust. Inhale, imagine yourself glowing in this golden light, anchored and grounded and tethered to earth, opening to your purpose. Breathe. See yourself in this golden light. Mindfully embrace alignment with your highest good. Open to accepting reality. Open to the substance of your wholeness. Exhale, relax, feel that energy. And now inhale, centering yourself. Feel your love and light within. Now exhale. Make a promise to fill your cup first. Just breathe and make a promise to create your happiness and your joy. Acknowledge your willingness to be on purpose with your life's fulfillment. Relax, feel centered, feel the energy of this light. And now inhale. Honor your wholeness. Exhale, releasing expectations and integrating truth of all things to manifest peace, taking spirit over matter. Just breathe. center, grounded, listening to the whole process of understanding, taking spirit over matter. Now inhale, place your hands over your heart. Feel your heartbeat. And just breathe. Feel your heartbeat and open yourself with grace. Relaxing your mind and your body, standing in this beautiful golden light, anchored and grounded to earth. Just breathe. And with grace, receive our Mindful Monday affirmation for the week. Taking the biggest breath you've had all morning, and as you exhale, listen. Listen and feel connecting to the love within you, the compassion within you, and the willingness to take spirit over matter and to be in 2024 living in substance and not trappings. Our affirmation for the week, today with purpose, I stand in grace, trusting spirit over matter, embracing my highest good with ease. Today with purpose, I stand in grace, trusting spirit over matter, embracing my highest good with ease. Feel your heartbeat. Feel yourself anchored and grounded. And allow yourself to trust and know, with your commitment to your wholeness, you can manifest anything this year, and trust taking spirit over matter, and don't get caught up in the trappings. Live in the substance. Thank you, Dominique. Tavis Smiley and Miles in the 1580 KBLA family. Have an unapologetic, mindful, blessed week, standing in grace, trusting spirit over matter, embracing your highest good with
Absolutely.
ease.
Before you sign off, and I love that, spirit over matter, you remind us that from time to time. I want to ask you about a couple things. This one astrologer that you actually introduced me to, who goes by the name of Chani, has outlined what she says are some opportunities around finance. She says key dates for money and success, and they're all like right now. Well, she says January 4th through February 12th, Mars is exalted in Capricorn. January 9th, Mars sextiles Saturn, and January 12th, Mars trines Jupiter. For most of us, that doesn't mean much. But what she's saying is that these are times to maximize our financial gains or our abundance.
Right. Because we have, for the first time in, since 1876 and 1776 and 1800s, for the first time we have Pluto in Capricorn. And this Pluto in Capricorn is conjunct the Sun, which is this week, and it is trine Mars and Jupiter, which is Taurus. So they're earth signs trying each other, and earth signs open the space for us to create abundance. It opens the space to manifest more dynamic things in the material world, as well as Capricorn rules money. It rules business. It rules structure. So this is a time to put your business hat on, restructure the dynamics in your life, clean house, like pay your bills, be clear about your relationship with your money, be open to creating more abundance, because this is a dynamic time. And like I've been saying, it's spiritual reparations, and it's not just, going through a program, but it's about knowing your business, being about God's business, and knowing that it's time for us to release the emotional mismanagement and the trappings that bind us to the illusions of deprivation, and step into the substance of our wholeness, step into the power we have to create abundance and to live a fruitful life. And so for the next 20 years, with Pluto in a Capricorn, which is going to be there for the next 20 years, and Uranus in Taurus, which is going to be there for another 10 years, there's a possibility for all indigenous and people of color to create wealth of which we've never experienced before. And to speak from an astrological perspective, none of us have ever lived through Pluto and Aquarius, and Pluto and Capricorn, and then Uranus, and Taurus. So it's going to be a real dynamic time for us to create more abundance. And, let me correct something. It's Pluto and Capricorn, and it's actually Pluto's going into Aquarius, which is the aspect that hasn't happened. It didn't happen since 1886, so I'm sorry I misquoted that. But Pluto in Capricorn is in its last leg of manifesting and creating, and you could see for the last 10 years we've had, the last 20 years we've had Pluto in Capricorn, and that has yielded a shift in who we are as a people, how we pick up our power, and what we've created is also have changed the structure of business and how we do business. And so now with Pluto going into Aquarius, it's time for the people to be in charge of their own business, their own life, and to shift the dynamics of, corporations and bring it back to the people.
I have to ask you a quick question about this too, Saharah Ali. You've been saying, I guess for the past couple years that, but especially this past 6 months that, truth is coming to light, the things that, that have been hidden are being unveiled, or that stuff is coming out, the tea is coming out or whatever. And then you see, Katt Williams just really broke open a whole conversation. Everyone, he talked about a lot of comics and people in Hollywood. Everyone is responding. It's got more than 15 million views, his interview on Club Shay Shay so far. It might be more than that. Last time I checked, it was 15 million. How many? 30 million? It's up to 30 million views. I mean, he throws a lot of people under the bus, and a lot of people responded. I didn't hear a lot of people accusing him of being a liar. Some people might have set the record straight, i.e. Ice Cube or whatever, but there was no he's a liar per se. And even if you parse what Ice Cube said, he didn't say that was never there. He said, I would never show a scene like that on camera. Anyway, all that said, 2 points. You look at Christian Keys coming out and accusing some Hollywood billionaire of, trying to get him to have sex with them, and the whole thing with Cassie speaking out on Diddy and exposing that entire culture, of which Diddy was not the only one, and a lot of people are probably shaking in their boots. You've got these Epstein memos, these documents being released and implicating a lot of powerful men. This is pretty much what you were talking about, I think. So what do you want to say about it? Why now? Is it going to continue? And also, a lot of people are saying the Virgos are acting up. I can't remember who else they said is a Virgo besides Katt Williams. I know a few. So if you could just comment on those 2 things, I think that would be great.
Okay, so if we talk about the celestial wisdom bringing light to the planet Earth and shaking stuff up, Saturn is in Pisces, which is opposite Virgo. Neptune is in Pisces, opposite Virgo. Okay, so Neptune rules the film industry. Okay, Pisces rule new laws, new rules, restructuring. So Neptune is the illusion. And so what's happening, Saturn is busting up the illusion in that whole facade that the film industry has given us. And now we're going down into the shadow side of the industry, and the truth is coming to the light in regards to the injustices that have taken place, the violations that have taken place, which is also part of this Pluto and Aquarius dynamic about the people. So all the underdogs, all the people that have been underserved, disrespected, violated, and abused, it's time for all of that to come to the light so that it can be restructured and reframed and demonstrated with some sense of integrity. Because, and I was talking to somebody about this, about the film industry, it has been a very shady, shadowy dynamic, and it has been a lure where people are willing to sell their soul. And so with this awakening of self, people are no longer willing to just lie down and take it, because it's important for everybody to realize that it's time for us to engage in the substance of our wholeness and not get caught in the trappings or the illusions that are dangled in front of us that makes us sell our soul. And so this is just clarity coming to this to everybody. And it's coming, through throwing shade. You can say it's throwing shade, but I think it's revealing the truth and opening up the shadow aspect of an industry that has abused so many people and destroyed so many lives for such a long time. This is just the beginning. It's just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more to be revealed.
I can't remember all the people that were saying were Virgos. Dave Chappelle, Katt Williams, is a bunch of them. But, I guess part of my thing was like, why? Because that, everyone's talking about it, so maybe it'll benefit him, but maybe it won't, because a lot of people are going to be upset by that.
Think about it. The truth will set you free. And whether, every time there is some type of gossip or even some shade, there's a little bit of truth in it. And so this has to be exposed so that we can make a decision about what's real to us. And yes, Virgos are having a challenging time. They can no longer sit on these things. Virgo is like the teacher of the zodiac. They hold a space to help us elevate our minds. And so with Saturn and Neptune opposite their sun, they can't hide anymore. They can't sit on what it is that they're supposed to say to help change the minds of individuals. They're educators. And so, yes, they're going to spill some tea, whether they have all the receipts behind that tea, and those that do have receipts will come forward. They're just opening the space as a teacher to bring clarity and to allow us to decide what's real, what's not real, what's a trapping, what's a substance, what's an illusion, what's a lie. And it's going to force people who have been deceptive to come forward. If it's not true, then stand up and speak your truth. If it's true, then live the consequence of that choice that was made, Epstein and everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Well, Saharah, thank you for diving into this stuff. I didn't give you any warning, but Virgos, Michael Jackson, just, Keke Palmer, congratulations to her. She got a Golden Globe. So, yeah, challenging. We see the gloss and like you said, the trappings. SaharahAli.com is where you can find her if you want to go get a sound bath, take a yoga class. That's a great thing to do at the beginning of the year. All of those things are available to you at SaharahAli.com. If you want a reading, you're going to have to pick up the phone and call her assistant Elise at 213-628-9783, 213-628-9783. Time for you to call me right now on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said, "Maraca, senor," but his nose said, "Hey, freshest scent ever." Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring Gain scent beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, "Sir, your scent maracas smell amazing." You could call them scent maracas, but most noses call them Gain scent beads. Try Gain scent beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Right now, it does continue, and I'd love to hear from you. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. People were giving Joe Coy a hard time, saying that he was terrible at the Golden Globes. I didn't watch it. I've only seen clips. I have seen Joe Coy, though, perform stand-up, and he's pretty funny. I thought he was quite funny. Actually, given what I knew of his politics, I was surprised he took the job, but I guess it's one of those career-moving moments. But, a lot of the, what do you call them, mainstream folks did not know him. He's Filipino-American, wildly popular, sells out stadiums. Where did I see him? At a huge venue. I can't remember. Oh, it was at the Forum. And, he's quite hilarious. He used to date Chelsea Handler. I guess a lot of people know him for that. But the fact that, I guess this was a crossover moment for him to go mainstream. And people were mad about the Taylor Swift joke or whatever. I get that. But nobody ever loves, it seems like no matter who hosts the Golden Globes, you're going to get shade. It just comes with the territory. And so for him, it was like a breakthrough moment to the mainstream, which to me is crazy considering that you're selling out the Forum for multiple nights. You've got all these, comedy specials and albums that he makes tons of money. But it's just another example of how, folks that aren't white do not, it takes something else for them to break into that mainstream consciousness. They can be making tons of money. They can be massively successful and not have crossed over into the mainstream consciousness in that sense. Well, he's crossed over now. I don't know how much it's going to help him, though. But interesting that they chose, I'm not sure if he's the first Asian American to host it, but certainly he's got to be the first Filipino American to do so on the same night when you have the first indigenous Native American or First Nations person to win any Golden Globe ever, and the first Asian American woman to win Best Actress, first Asian or Asian American to win Best Actress for her role in Beef, which was controversial because they had a Me Too situation with one of the actors on it. But she is stunningly good in that series. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched a few episodes. Let's go to Big Phil calling us from where Big Phil be at. Good morning.
Good morning. Creek didn't rise this morning. Devil don't sleep. Gossip. All that's garbage. Misery love company. Ain't got time. Life is short. Let me tell you one thing. They pushed that sister out at Howard University. They better be glad it wasn't Maxine Waters. Hey, Maxine Waters wouldn't go for it. Believe me, she's a fighter. Okay? And that's what I like about your dad. Your dad, even though he was a short man, but he stood 6'9", and he's not taking it. You hit your father in your face, you might get shot. That's what I like about your daddy. He don't turn the other cheek. He got a great
He's talking about Amiri Baraka, a.k.a. Leroy Jones. My papa.
He's not turning the other cheek, your dad. When he hit me, I'm going to hit you back. I'm with your dad, okay? Also, Katt Williams, they just keep that guy in the media, though. He just stay in the media. Good luck, brother. I mean, they take that, brother. It turns around, some Katt Williams did that. That's gossip. Oh, my goodness.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of it that seems like gossip, and I guess it is gossip, but there's also some conversation about industry practices, right, around the treatment of black men, the portrayal of black men, sexual assault, the sort of, I mean, I haven't gotten through the whole 2 hours. I think I'm 1 hour in or maybe a little bit more. But there's a lot of stuff in there that isn't strictly gossip, that is focus on industry practices. And I happen to know, Big Phil, you've bodyguarded for some superstars. And I'm sure you've seen some things in your time that made your hair stand on end. Oh, News, traffic, and sports right now. KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
It's a Monday, everyone, January 8th. I'm Mike Moore. Thank you for joining us here on the Black Information Network. Now, here's the latest. Memphis is remembering Tyree Nichols a year after his death at the hands of law enforcement. A candlelight vigil was held for the 29-year-old black man who was removed from his car during a traffic stop and beaten by police. Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis and Mayor Paul Young were in attendance for Sunday's vigil. The National Transportation Safety Board says the door plug that was blown out of an Alaska Airlines plane on Friday has been recovered. They're hoping the development will help explain exactly what happened. The panel from the fuselage was found Sunday night by a school teacher in Portland, Oregon, and turned over to the NTSB. No serious injuries were reported during the mid-air scare. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Without question, the number one story for NFL Wildcard Weekend is a first-round matchup between the Rams and Detroit Lions. The Rams are at Detroit next Sunday at 5 p.m. Detroit is where Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford played 12 of his 15 NFL seasons. Stafford came to the Rams in a trade 3 years ago that sent former Rams quarterback Jared Goff to Detroit. Both will be starting on Sunday against their former team. The Lakers snapped their 4-game losing streak Sunday night with a 3-point win over the Clippers. LeBron had 25 points and 7 assists. Shout out to the UCLA women's basketball team. The Bruins are 14-0 after beating Oregon State Sunday. The Bruins are ranked number 2 in the country. They joined Baylor and South Carolina as the only Division I undefeated women's teams in the country. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
There's only a few days left for open enrollment, starting at $0 a month. LA Care Covered offers the benefits you need to achieve your health goals. $0 preventive services, 24/7 virtual care and nurse advice lines, walk-in minute clinics, free fitness and nutrition classes, and more. Become a member of LA's most affordable health plan. Get a free instant quote at lacarecovered.org. Have open enrollment questions? Connect with us today at 855-222-4239. Find your affordable path to wellness with LA Care Covered today.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
This is is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Okay, Big Phil from LA. I lost track of time there for a second. You were talking about Katt Williams saying it was all gossip. I was saying, yeah, it's not all gossip. There's a lot of salacious stuff, which is one of the reasons why he's got 30 million views. One of the reasons is because he struck quite a few nerves. Yes, he threw a lot of people under the bus. Can we verify all of it? No. People, fans, friends, frenemies have been posting receipts on Twitter and Instagram. But to me, and I think this is what Saharah was talking about, Saharah Ali, is what's important about it is not just like who got thrown under the bus, but what he's saying about industry practices, the way things are, run, what you have to go through to kiss the ring, what you have to go through to get through that door to the upper echelons. And there is a lot of sexual abuse and harassment and just plain meanness that goes on. And there is a lot of demeaning of black men and black women too, but particularly black men. Some people feel, like the wearing of a dress is some kind of thing that you have to do if you're a black man. And then he goes, like Avi said right before this, he goes off into some Illuminati stuff. He claims he can run the 40-yard dash, 4.4 or something, which, he'd be in the NFL Combine if he could do that. Maybe he can. I don't know. I have no proof that he can't. But he some things that stretch.
4.7.
Huh?
He ran a 4.7. I see it on the news.
Recently?
Yeah, they showed on the news that they
okay. All right. Well, I stand corrected. I mean, it's not a 4.1, but a 4.7 ain't bad for
4.7. Yeah,
for anybody. I mean, I stand corrected. He's fast. I'm just saying, and a lot of, and it's true that a lot of people are responding, and they're not saying he lied. That is true. They're correcting. They're angling to correct the way it impacts their image, or they're making clarifications. But they're not saying he lied. Ice Cube said he would never put a rape scene like that in a movie on camera.
Right.
And he said it wasn't there. He said
he shouldn't run down the streets. He's running down the street. Some movies, Steve recently, he's running down the street. Some movies, he's running down the middle of the streets, speed sprinting.
Oh yeah. That's from I think that's from a television show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point was, it's not just about the gossip. It's about exposing practices in the industry that need to change. Maybe a black man's version of Me Too, right? Maybe. I don't know.
I agree. That's like Dave Chappelle said, they'll put a dress on, walk away $50 million. Okay, what's wrong with that? And they criticize him. He's staying real to the game.
But have you seen, I mean, I'm sure you can't speak on it because you'd never work again, but have you seen crazy things that kind of, lead you to suspect certain things Mr. Williams said might be true?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, okay.
I agree, my sister.
And he's not going to speak. He's not going to say anything. See, he got off the phone, Miles. He's like, "You're not messing up my cheese." I get it.
Dominique, you guys be careful down there, because a man taking a stick and swapping somebody in the head walking down the street haven't caught him yet with a pipe.
What? Okay.
Yeah, just recent. Yeah, ain't too late. Lady struggling that baby. He just walked up, slapped in the head with a pipe. Couple of them, actually.
I read about that happening in downtown LA last year, but I haven't read about something, a new situation like that. Thank you for the heads up. That's what Big Phil does. He keeps people safe. Appreciate it. Big Phil called 800-920-1580, and you can too. 800-920-1580, and you can too. Love to hear from you all the time. Jonathan Majors went on TV, his first interview since he was found guilty of assaulting and harassing his former girlfriend. He said he was freaked out, shocked and afraid were his exact words on hearing that verdict. And I'm actually really surprised that he spoke on it. He talked to ABC News' Lindsay Davis, and he's still waiting for his sentencing on those charges. They're misdemeanors. He didn't testify at his trial, but he said he wanted to give his side of the story as part of the healing. I'm surprised that his team recommended that, But then again, you don't even know if he has a team at this point because his agency dropped him, publicist dropped him, even before the guilty verdict. And again, what he's accused of is terrible. But you want to talk about running. You see that tape of this woman chasing him for blocks and blocks. It's, I think for a lot of people on social media, it tells a different story. But the jury found him guilty. He was crying on the air. He said he hasn't been able to see his kid, and that he's lost everything. He said he says now it's just him and his lovely partner Megan and his dogs. So for those wondering if Ms. Megan Good stood by him throughout, some people were saying she would walk away if he was found guilty. She has not done so. But I think it's going to be a long road back. I think, regardless of what you think of Jonathan Majors, Hollywood has a different standard for black men. And that standard is you may never get your career back. You may never get your career back. Some do. And I think that's why one of the reasons why we're so quick to defend people who may not even deserve to be defended is because we know once Hollywood labels you, you don't get to go to rehab and come back and be, Robert Downey Jr. or he who shall not be named, a former president, and go on and have a career. If you're a black man in particular, you don't get to go on the cover of People magazine and cry and say you were a drug addict or you had a psychological disorder, but now you've been made whole and you get to have another chapter in your career. For the most part, when black men have any kind of scandal, especially something violent, but any kind of scandal. Now, I always talk about Chris Brown because Chris Brown was actually a teenager when he had that horrible incident with Rihanna. He's been through anger management. He's been through psychological, through therapy. He has done so much community service that's never talked about. His fans stick by him. But if you look at the way he's covered by the news, he doesn't get a second chance, even though he was a teenager at the time that had happened. And he hasn't, regardless of how folks spin things in the news, hasn't had that kind of a situation on a recurring basis. We do not, for the most part, give black men the same latitude, the same bounce back as we give the Don Imuses, the Howard Sterns, the Bill Clinton for that matter, Bill Clintons of the world. Why do you think that is? I don't think I have to spell it out. And I'm not saying, that whatever, that I know anything about Major's case or that whatever he did is okay. But he was convicted of 2 misdemeanors. And for those misdemeanors, he has lost tens of millions of dollars in an entire career that I would be very surprised if he's able to get that career back. Certainly not at the level that it was, if at all. Apparently Jasmine Guy won an Emmy. They have this thing called the Creative Emmys where they give Emmys before the Emmys to the people that aren't as famous. I'm surprised she was in the not famous group. To me, she's very famous. But she got her first Emmy, which is a huge deal. She's got a bunch of NAACP Image Awards for her work on television. But this was her first time winning an Emmy, so congratulations going out to Jasmine Guy, outstanding actress in a short form comedy or drama, for her work on, I can't remember the show, but congrats going out to her. Long time coming. And she is a very talented artist. She got a stack of them. Oh, it's for the Chronicles of Jessica Wu for her role in that. So congrats going out to her. Amazing that is her first one, but she has almost as many NAACP Image Awards as Tavis Smiley. So congrats to her. Maybe one day, she'll catch up. And it's always not that it's mandatory for us to have validation by these institutions, the Emmy Awards and the Golden Globe Awards that have the Oscars, which have a long history of excluding us. But I do think it's worth celebrating when they do, and it comes with a bonus in terms of your career. Some people say the Oscars has a curse where you don't ever work again. I think Monique's working, but not in the kind of work she did before. But there's a cachet. Your quote goes up, what you're meant to be paid goes up, how you're viewed in the industry, the amount of publicity, the rooms you can get in. So even though we don't need that validation, it's a good thing when folks get it. And so congrats going out to her. I kind of am balking at commemorating January 6th. Just like I don't love commemorating September 11th. It's like these infamous, terrible things. And January 6th especially, at least with September 11th, you understand, memorializing those victims. And I get that we never want to forget that our former president tried to overthrow the U.S. government. But this idea that it's like some kind of commemoration, I resist that on the basis that, what I want to commemorate is how many of these folks are in jail and when will the former president join them. That's what I want to commemorate when it comes to January 6th. And so, there was a lot of conversation about it on Saturday, which was the anniversary, if you want to call it that, of the attack on the Capitol. And a new conviction. We can talk about that when we come forward. That's what I'm more interested in when it comes to January 6th. Accountability, jail time. Now Trump is calling the people who are in jail for crimes they committed on the Capitol hostages. And far right-wing Representative Elise Stefanik is also echoing that same lingo. Hostages. That's the Talking Point Tuesday crap I'm talking about. They're not hostages. They're convicted felons. They're traitors to this country. That's what they are. But it goes to show you the language, the spin. It's what Republicans and the MAGA crowd specialize in. And we got to push back. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the exclusive media sponsor of This Light of Ours, activist photographers of the Civil Rights Movement, a dynamic new exhibition on view now at the Skirball Cultural Center in Los Angeles. This Light of Ours showcases more than 150 photos taken by movement insiders from diverse backgrounds that reveal the vital work undertaken by a broad coalition of organizers and everyday people whose collective action changed America. This Light of Ours is one of 3 temporary exhibitions currently on view at the Skirball, which together explore issues related to civil rights, immigration, and pluralism. Tickets and more information for all 3 exhibitions are available at skirball.org. That's skirball.org. SKIRBALL.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
That was another way. I would smoke once an hour. That didn't work either. All that would happen at some point of the day, I would end up doubling up. Other ways that I tried to quit was I stopped buying cigarettes totally. But if I took 3 puffs off of 15 friends, those didn't count because they weren't my cigarettes and they weren't full cigarettes. I went through a lot.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
There are many things to love about winter. Cozy sweaters, celebrations, and family time. But winter can also bring many stressors, extra expenses, seasonal bugs, and so much family time. If you and your loved ones are feeling stressed or anxious this winter, CalHope can help. Check out our free mental health resource at calhope.org today.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
We are, and you're always invited in, 800-920-1580. Glad to see the chat is going strong. YouTube.com, KBLA 1580. Ben Frank says, yes, respect to Whitley. I love that. Jasmine Guy is still Whitley after all these years because of her iconic character on A Different World. So my celebration of January 6th was this guy, Christopher Worrell. I don't know if you remember him. He's a member of the Proud Boys who was right at the line with the cops. In fact, he was instrumental in breaking that line so that people could run into the Capitol. After the attempted coup on the Capitol, he faked a drug overdose and then tried to escape. He went on the lam for 6 weeks, trying to escape from legal accountability. Well, last week he was convicted in May, and last week he got 10 years in prison. That is a hefty sentence, and rightfully so. I mean, he's a traitor. He apologized on Thursday to the district judge, Royce Lamberth, apologizing for his actions. His defense attorneys argued for leniency. They said he has poor health. Well, yeah, if you're drug overdosing, you're going to have poor health. I don't know that is a call for leniency. I was so offended by this term, hostages, that he who shall not be named has now signaled, which means all of the MAGA folks are going to start calling Worrell and other rightfully convicted insurrectionists, they're going to start calling them hostages. And this is the kind of stuff we have to push back on because these are the talking points that are so doggone effective. They're not hostages. They are convicted felons. And this guy was part of the Hurricane Coast, which is the Proud Boys chapter in Florida. So you're already loco, right? Because you're in the Proud Boys. And then now you're a Florida man on top of that. Aside from his drug situation, apparently he has non-Hodgkin lymphoma. But I think about all of the Black American political prisoners, Indigenous American political prisoners who have been in prison for decades. Some, released shortly before they die, and their health issues have not yielded in most cases. I say in most cases because Mutulu Shakur was let out. But at the very end of his life, because of health issues, after serving decades and decades, this guy hasn't even been in yet, and he's trying to get, leniency. He cut off his ankle monitor before his sentencing in August and ran away. I mean, to me, they had to give him a decent sentence. But the judge did say that he was giving a lighter sentence because of the health issues. He said, I don't want to see you die in prison. And it just angered me because I think of Geronimo G. Jaga Pratt. I think of Mutulu Shakur. I think of so many other Black Americans who spent decades in jail because they were accused of things many times totally untrue, like in the case of Geronimo G. Jaga Pratt, turned out to be totally a lie when the FBI informant Julius Butler is exposed, and it turns out it was just a, ginned up case against him. Yeah, they gave him some restitution, and he was able to live out his life in Tanzania, but he only had a few more years left. And you're worried about some proud boy who has Hodgkin lymphoma and a drug overdose, but was healthy enough to go beating up cops at the Capitol just a couple years ago. I mean, I'll take the 10 years, but I didn't really appreciate the judge saying that he was granting leniency, because to me, that is just another example of the double standard in this country, between Black people and everybody else. I mean, and it applies, to other people of color when it comes to the prison system, but for some reason, Black folks, the reason. I don't have to go into it, but I'm going to keep pointing it out, though. I'm going to keep pointing it out for those who like to pretend we're in a post-racial America, or that DEI must die, as Elon Musk said, because the clawback of affirmative action, the clawback of diversity, equity, and inclusion, the attacks on people like Claudine Gay, these remind us that we are not in a post-racial society, that there are wealthy people and politicians fighting like hell, to quote he who shall not be named, to make sure that we do not dismantle these institutions that are, I shouldn't say dismantle the institutions, I mean dismantle the white supremacy that is baked into the cake in education, in government, especially in elite institutions, in finance. There are people fighting like hell to make sure that these traditions of exclusion continue. And so we've got to call it out. We got to keep calling it out. And we've got to be clear and not go for the okie doke. Oh, well, we don't need affirmative action because these people are going to say we didn't get here of our own fair accord. Those people are going to say that no matter what. They're going to find a way to put you down. We need repair. We need reparation. We need restitution. And we need everything that moves us closer to equity, no matter what form it might take. I'm Dominique DiPrima. I'll be talking with a Republican colleague next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
It's a Monday, everyone, January 8th. I'm Mike